Good Lord have mercy. Once again, it seems to have done it. Gonna have to figure out what causes it. Never have to deal with that on my PS5. Yeah, I use a different mic setup, but same difference, same issue, different issue, I guess. Crazy as that sounds. But welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel.
Give up your colony plans.
That's disgusting. You're making money off people's fear.
Yes, I am. By the shipload. Whereas your stock just fell like it was in a high-gravity environment.
Damn it.
And just like that, it no longer matters. As I said, I'm your host, Mortanius, and we are back with some more Mass Effect 2 Legendary Edition on the Xbox Series X. Time of recording is 12:27 a.m. January 9th, 2025, excuse me. Or rather, Friday, January 10th, excuse me. No need to go this way, we've already dealt with that. Figured y'all be entertained by that one. When we last left off, we got ourselves a nice little rundown on Ilium.
Do you have anything flashier?
Where, come to find out, a friend and colleague of ours, Liara Tassoni, happens to be, who we'll interact with as we go.
You should try it my way.
But we didn't come here specifically to deal with Liara. At least not at this exact moment. That'll come later. This particular information matters for the simple fact that the individual we seek is known as Thane Krios. So, yeah. But our main goal in coming to Ilium, kind of stated in the last episode, was supplies and upgrades. And we have them. Now we move on to the actual mission. After we apply those enhancements, of course.
How may I help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should know?
Nothing right now. Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
Take care.
Yeah. Assault rifle penetration plus 25% against armor, shields, and barriers. I always hated that it kicks me out of the menus and makes no sense. Extra 50% SMG rounds, glorious. Biotic cooldown, 20%. Yeah, see, some of the upgrades we picked up were automatically applied. Some of the ones that we picked up weren't, which is what I was just doing.
No messages for you, Commander.
Good. Good. Might as well get the reference to these planets for you folks. Naxel. Barrigale. See, when I see a planet in the Mass Effect universe that looks like that, My brain usually says element 0. Oh, Jesus. I am deeply out of iridium. And most of the time when I see it, I'm usually correct. So if you want EZO, folks, keep your eye out for purple planets.
Probe launched.
Or at least purple-ish. Still, need to do something about my iridium problem.
Probe away.
Athanix Cannon Research. Cool. That's Garrus's upgrade for the Normandy.
Launching probe.
Shouldn't have to in the short term. I'll have to actually look at my terminal. See if there's anything I can get that requires iridium. Figured I was right here. Might as well just pick up the EZO, but I didn't think there was gonna be much else. But once this episode's done, I'm gonna go on sort of a hard resource run. Haven't really needed to, but once you get to a certain point in the game, oh yeah, the enhancements will start to get costly. Okay, so it's just element 0 around here, in proper abundance anyway.
Probe launched. Probe away.
Collector assault rifle. Yeah, I don't think I've ever used that. I don't know if it's any good. Good lord. Oh, okay. So they're gonna have this planet be based in little chunks now. One more regardless of the size of it, and then I'm done. Guess I'm done now. It is what it is. Now, one thing to note, older worlds that have like stores, the Citadel, Omega, any item you get from those stores is got, and what I mean by that is they don't like get new inventory. So you don't have to worry about like checking in with them unless there's something you still want that they still have.
I have detected an anomaly.
I know you have.
Bastards didn't know what hit him.
Ah.
For a second patrol, looking for survivors. Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a second patrol, looking for survivors. Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a second patrol, looking for survivors. Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a second patrol, looking for survivors. Bastards didn't know what hit him.
I'm kind of debating.
Looking for survivors.
There's a point where time is going to become a factor, but I cannot remember if that point began after Horizon or not.
Probe launched. In research projects, Element 0 is used for Bioand and Omni-Tool upgrades, which allows squad members who have biotic and tech powers to be much more effective.
Yeah, I said purple planets and I meant it, even though in the end, the whole time I was getting palladium, and I meant to clarify early on.
Probe launched.
Never did though. So here's their clarification now.
Probe away.
This mission might have to wait.
Coming around for a second patrol, looking for survivors. Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a second patrol, looking for survivors. Bastards didn't know what hit him. Coming around for a
Launching
second
probe.
patrol, looking for survivors.
I have found something.
Anomaly detected. Mercenary activity detected on planet surface. Communications match Blue Sun's encoding protocols. Possible location for rumored site of illegal archaeological activity. Blue Sun's intentions unknown. Goliath. Got me thinking about the old Gargoyles animated series from the 90s. Now, here in Manhattan, the spell is broken, and we live again.
Anomaly detected.
Isn't that a pretty shade of blue? Named after an Asari scientist, the remote planet appears to have been on the list of forbidden mass relays that led to uncharted space. The little data available comes from one far-off probe flyby that reports 2 planets orbiting a white dwarf star. Your own scans yield far more interesting results. The planet is within the habitable zone of the star. It has oceans of liquid water and a thin nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere consistent with carbon-based plant life. It is possible this is an as-yet unexplored garden world. 4.5 AU, 7.3 Earth years orbital period, 6,521 kilometer radius, 31.6 hours for a day. Atmospheric pressure is 0.72 of Earth atmospheres. 16 degrees Celsius surface temperature and 1.1 Gs. If memory serves, Earth is 0.96 Gs. So no, it's weird. Where did that number come from? It's 9.8 meters per second squared, but that's not exactly what I was looking for. Either way.
Probe launched.
Well, they just keep doing this to me.
Probe launched.
Deceleration recorded. General distress. MSV Hugo Gernsback. Registration BW4610034087. Impact and unscheduled suborbital deceleration recorded. General distress. MSV Hugo Gernsback. Registration BW4610034087. Impact and unscheduled
Launching probe.
deceleration recorded. General distress.
Probe launched. Launching probe.
General distress. MSV Hugo Gernsback. Registration BW4610034087. Impact and unscheduled suborbital deceleration recorded. General distress.
when I actually do this resource run, I'm gonna have to remember to stay away from most planets. I want to actually let you folks get the chance to read the entries if you would want to.
Orbital deceleration recorded.
So I don't want to add new planets to that list.
Something on our sensors. I have run a scan of the ship. I detect no life signs, but there may be useful technology or information still inside.
Okay. Just checking something, folks. Sorry about that. Just reading something about this planet.
Right behind you.
There it is, and mostly intact. They could have survived impact, but it's been years. Looks like it was stripped after the crash. They'd have tried to get a beacon up as soon as possible.
It would make the most sense. I mean, honestly, it's what I would try to do. Well, honestly, it's what anybody with sense would try to do.
Along with this anymore, we've done horrible things to the crew. The conditions they're in, they don't understand what we're doing to them. Distract them for 2 seconds and they forget what you did before the bruises show. It's got to stop. I'm talking to the others as soon as
Does not bode well for the Hugo Gernsback. 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 There we go.
she threatened to report if I didn't stop sending messages. Now she's so innocent. They all are. And the look she gives when she smiles. It's sure easier now. What's the harm? We're stuck here.
Interesting. The smile she gives, and she's all innocent now. A shift?
What was her name? Sarah? Suzanne? My God, I can't remember. I can't remember her face. We need to get out. So I can remember. Can think straight. They have to hurry.
Interesting. Something's going on with memories or the mind itself. And he was one of them ones that kept sending messages despite the fact of being told to stop, huh? Some would say he needs to stop. I would agree. Some would unfortunately say he should be more persistent. Unfortunately, again, you tend not to hear that from the guy's side, though.
You can't expect the luxury of due process, but this isn't a military ship. Just bumping the command line up a notch doesn't work. Captain Fairchild knew this crew. His replacement doesn't command the same level of respect. I'm hoping the man has it in him, but I don't know.
So what? The other man didn't know the crew at all? Didn't command any form of respect? Yet he was placed as second in command. What logic is that? Was it them trying to give him the opportunity to gain that trust? I can respect it, but then the question becomes, what do you mean about a bumping chain of command? You speak about it as if it was something that was just done and not something that had to be worked at.
Toxology alert. Danger of rapid neural decay. Local flora chemically incompatible with human physiology. Override. Beacon resumed. Pause time 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours.
Pause time. Interesting. And nothing picked up that beacon in between that pause time.
Toxology alert.
From the look of it, this beacon's been here a while. Why would they wait years to signal?
Pause in beacon protocol. 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours. Pause is recorded as record deleted by acting captain Ronald Taylor.
That's not right. My father was first officer.
Ronald Taylor was promoted under emergency command protocols. Other flagged issues: unsafe deceleration, local food and neural decay, beacon activation protocols.
Well, it makes perfect sense to me. It said acting captain, not captain himself. Usually, and I could be wrong, but usually when I hear acting captain, I'm hearing temporary or like wartime promoted captain or something like that.
Who's in command of this ship? Where are the survivors?
Captain Harris Fairchild reported killed following unscheduled suborbital descent. First Officer Ronald Taylor promoted in-field to acting captain.
But where is he now?
The location of the remaining crew of the Hugo Gernsback is unknown. This beacon has been unattended for several maintenance cycles.
I assume unsafe deceleration refers to the crash. Give me the details.
Following an unspecified impact and sublight drive failure, the Hugo Gernsback made an unscheduled descent at 465% of theoretical recommended suborbital velocity. The Hugo Gernsback then decelerated at 782% of theoretical recommended approach velocity, sustaining significant damage to investment and crew.
So it descended extremely fast and stopped far faster. And in both instances, it was never recommended to ever do anything like that. Obviously.
Local food impairs brain functions? What are the effects?
Impairment of mental function due to chemical imbalance begins within 7 days of ingesting local flora, regardless of decontamination or preparation. Impact on higher cognitive abilities and long-term memory is cumulative, but significant within a standard month. It is not known if neural decay is permanent. Data collection was not completed.
Come on, let's get
My
going.
father had
I
a
was
working
not-
beacon, but didn't signal for almost 9 years. Maybe that neural decay affected him.
Avoiding it for a decade seems unlikely.
Access granted. Weekly alerts on file, 487. Would you like to schedule maintenance for the total system failure? Flagged issues include emergency command protocols, unsafe deceleration, local food and neural decay, beacon activation
I
protocols.
was not done.
Local food impairs brain functions?
It is not known if neural decay is permanent.
I wasn't sure if there was
Data
anything
collection
else
was
to that
not
line.
completed.
Why wasn't the beacon activated before now?
This emergency beacon became functional after 358 days, 12 hours, following the unscheduled suborbital descent of the Hugo Gernsback. Activation was triggered remotely after 8 years, 237 days, 7 hours, on the authority of Acting Captain Ronald Taylor. Pause in beacon protocol is recorded as record deleted.
Interesting. So it's possible somebody might not have been able to get to the beacon until they got access to the remote signal or whatever.
Come on, let's get going.
Yeah, we need to find my father.
Or they held out a little bit, so we'll have to see. If that's the case, it begs the question as to why.
You came from the sky? The leader said someone would come. He delayed for so long, but he still has power. Some have lost faith. The hunters. They will have seen your star. They will not let you help him.
They will have seen my star. Well, it's obvious that you've been eating. Name and rank? I have a funny feeling if you ask her 2 + 2 is what, is she's gonna have a problem with that right now. Name and rank is a little much.
What are you talking about? You're not making sense.
I don't remember how to say it. He's our leader and we serve so we can go home. But some want to fight him.
Makes sense.
They were cast out. He exiled them. So they hunt his machines and those who help him. They don't believe that rescue will come.
Watch out.
Hunters. They won't stop until the leader is dead.
Kill them! Agents of the liar! He will not escape!
They've seen him.
Just so we're clear, Randy, the only reason you didn't get hit is because those oh so glorious hips.
Not a problem.
No shield.
Was hoping I'd had a second. Wasn't enough of a second. Fine. No, I won't warp.
I got it.
Okay. You just can't help yourself, can you, there, guy? You and I have just got a match, huh? I die when I shouldn't have, and then you die when you shouldn't have. Oh, it's a party, isn't it?
Now let's finish you off. That one hit.
Shield down.
This will put them down. Nice.
Oh, he dropped him. Okay. Not a choice I'd have made there, guy. Whoa. Oh, they took me out of cover. Wow. Yep. Yeah, okay. Miranda? I mean, fine. Hey, I was trying to be nice with y'all.
Easy enough.
Really, Jacob? Really? You just standing there, huh? It's gonna take them hits, huh? For Cerberus, huh? What the? What? What? Oh God, she's a solid object in the world. I'm not used to that. Yeah, that's fine. You got me killed, civilian. I am not used to that. Wow, got me dying in a simple fight.
With you.
What? What? Y'all are seeing these things happen, right?
Taking fire. Come on over. All mine.
Understood. Not a problem.
Yep.
You bet.
Oh God. Okay. Yep, think somebody just fell down a cliff. Gotcha.
Now let's finish you off.
That wasn't neural decay. They were feral.
My father wouldn't let this go on. Something is very wrong.
You killed them, but there are more every day. They want to fight, but I just want to go home.
She's lost it. We need to find someone who can make sense of this.
Oh, Miranda was using
away.
a pistol the whole time. That's partly what kept getting her crazy ass killed.
Switch up.
With you.
Staying close.
What's up, Miranda? What's wrong? Trying to get a little closer to old ship?
Understood.
Following.
Well, I'm not opposed. Excuse me.
Strip for parts. Tech's wearing out. Those hunters must be laying on the pressure.
Them mechs are so that's always been so weird to me how they're designed to be so kind of feminine. I don't
Is that a
care, it's
settlement?
just unusual.
They better be friendlier than the beach.
As far as my
I need
brain is saying.
answers. Field is clear.
They're clearly docile, but in the same uniform remnants as those who attacked us.
We'll see. This could just as easily turn problematic. This is true. But it also, this is another one of the instances where I wish I could ask multiple questions.
Is this an earlier stage, or did the exile make the others violent?
Why is everyone here female? Can't be a coincidence.
It doesn't matter right now. One of these people must know what my father has to do with this.
You have his face. He promised to call the sky, but he sends nothing.
He forced us to eat, to decay. You are cursed with his face.
Interesting.
Not the best reaction to the family resemblance, Jacob.
Why would my father force his crew to eat toxic food? Whatever's happening here needs to stop.
In a basic sense, it wouldn't surprise me as a thought process that they would kind of need to. Beyond that, it's hard to say. You only have so many stores of food you brought with you. Everything else on this planet is gonna break your mind.
Look at these spoiled food stores. They've been eating only that toxic local food for who knows how long. Like that wasn't obvious enough.
Yeah, all that spoiled food we can see. Yeah.
What the hell? Somebody had to push them to make that. That's borderline worship.
Not necessarily push. It depends on when it was done. But yes, you are right. Because most don't actually ask for a statue of themselves or a representation of a statue of themselves. If they do, they tend to be narcissistic. Otherwise, they'd ask just as a symbol for other people, but not for themselves. And even then, it ain't something you just hear them ask.
You bet.
Your captain demands obedience. Weapons are forbidden. Y'all just gonna stand out there, huh? Go down.
System failing. Backup systems engaged.
Here we go.
Patrols like that are a little much again.
Please, here. You
What
could
was-
end it.
What? Patrols like that are a little much against what? I'm assuming she's gonna say civilians
Please,
or something.
Here. You could end it. You have his face. But you fight his machines. You might stop this. This, I forget how to read. But this was the start. What he promised, and what they did to us. We need the sky. Take us back to the sky.
All right.
Jacob, what does it say?
It's a crew logbook. Some of them thought the beacon repair was taking too long. They were afraid they'd run out of supplies and lose their minds to the decay. My father restricted the ship food for himself and the other officers so they wouldn't be affected. Everybody else had to eat the toxic food and hope for treatment later. The rest is a casualty list. A few mutinied over the decision. My father and his officers turned the mechs on them.
I mean, it's a horrible thought process, but you need there to be order and structure, and the only ones they could give that are the ones who were already given it in the first place. There would have to be some form of rationing. There would have to be some form of limitation. The way that ship looked, I don't think they even had any like sort of like sleep chamber or sleep technology. So if they could like slow themselves down and not consume resources by using some sort of sleep system, I don't think it was still intact, even if it does exist. The only real option that you have would be to sanction off your food to an extent. It's one of those lesser of two evils kind of things. But still, there was a decision on both. Neither side agreed with the other one, not entirely. And then in the end, mechs were used. It's like, do you not agree and then just all end up the same way and hope somebody eventually gets there? Because they said the beacon was taking too long to repair. So was the beacon actually taking too long? Was somebody half-assing it? Was somebody intentionally taking too long? If the last two aren't the case, then that means that the beacon just took too long. But eventually, that would mean that whoever's repairing the beacon is going to end up the same way. So what do you do? And then it becomes, nope, we're going to force everybody to be able to eat the same exact food. We'll run out far faster and won't be able to do anything to actually save ourselves from this world and potentially get treatment later. It's not a conversation based on guilt or innocence, honestly. Neither side is right, neither side is wrong. You chose to force everybody else to go through the same problem when you didn't really have, not even like the skill. Skill ain't even the thing. You didn't have the capabilities on either side to deal with the problem. Nobody does. The only way to deal with the problem so far is to not be on this planet.
Not what I would have done, but they were in a desperate situation.
How long do you stay desperate? The numbers go up from there. More incidents, harsh punishments. It's like they're cattle or toys.
You'd be surprised.
Here, all the male crew members are flagged as exiled or dead. They separated out the women, assigned them to officers, like pets. After the beacon is fixed, the officers appear in the casualties too. After. My father took control and didn't stop it.
See, there it is. Why do all that? So the beacon did take time, but over time, they saw a method of consolidating power and they took it. Assigned the women, exiled the other men that they couldn't control, killed the ones that were too aggressive and more willing to fight. Might have actually fought and protected any of the others, men or women. Okay.
Anything in there about whether the effects of the toxic food can be treated?
Nothing. But it seems like the right call. If everyone gets it, who's left to fix the beacon?
Exactly.
Never get out. But they did fix it. And the signal wasn't sent until now. I'm starting to see why.
But from what that information was stating, that VI was stating, the beacon took about 2 years to get online. And there's no way they were already doing that beforehand. They weren't already doing that beforehand. They did that afterwards. So the beacon itself just took time. Nobody would have been able to actually repair / build the thing.
Does it say why he separated the men and the women? Or is it as bad as it seems?
No, it turns to gibberish. Maybe the men got violent early on, but from the state of this place, I'd say the Hunter thing is recent. What he allowed here, Shepard, I don't see any justification.
Hard to say. But yeah, I'm not really seeing one either. There's some tolerances for some things, but that's it. Tolerances.
We haven't seen any other officers. He killed them?
There were 5 after the crash. Medical, engineering, bridge staff. Should have had no problem fixing the beacon and keeping people safe. All killed within the same week. About a month after the beacon was repaired.
Yep. So there that is. The beacon needed to be repaired. Everybody who could repair it was repairing it. But you can't be working 24/7, 365. You need to sleep. You need to eat. You need to relieve stress. Some were actually willing to help with that, setting aside the actual problems. But some were actually willing to help with that. They did. Time passed. They started to lose themselves. And that was probably about a third of the way, if not halfway, into the repairs of the beacon. And then by the time the beacon was done, they were already full tilt.
Do you see an explanation for this? He's your father.
Is he? None of this fits. Maybe the initial decision, but the rest? Abuse of power doesn't get any clearer than this. I need to find this man.
I mean, he sounds like a person to me, unfortunately. Good, bad, and in between. he doesn't really sound any different than from what I'm hearing. And how people, real crazy people get with too much power, or real weak people get with too much power. He might have been fine as the second in command had they not crashed on a planet like this. Or he might have been fine as the second in command had they not, had he had a few more years under his belt before they crashed on a planet like this. Who knows? Or he just might not have been ready for that chair. He might have been good so long as he had never come across certain levels of adversity. And that's the way some people are, unfortunately. Good, bad, and in between. They're fine.
Moving.
But
right.
When you push them past certain points.
This is Captain Ronald Taylor. Thank God you're here. My crew went insane. I only just got free.
God damn it. It's really him. Just got free. He's covering his ass.
More than likely. But let's see if there's a potential third party who's playing games with his quote-unquote freedom.
The old corpse has been posed, like a warning. The new ones were left where they fell.
The hunters started fighting back.
Setting aside what the hunters are doing, it makes perfect sense. It's not a matter of being pretty. You pose the corpses of your enemies to give them reason to not want to be your enemies anymore. It's a very old school tactic. Quite a few used to use real messed up variations of that tactic as well. Vlad the Impaler was a master of it. 3 guesses what he used to do.
Nice trip.
There we go. Excuse me. That one hit.
Failing. Backup options engaged.
Careful. I automated my defenses after the crew turned violent. They keep attacking. I had no choice.
He had plenty of choices. A little late to blame his victims.
More than likely.
Threat neutralization initiated.
Now let's finish you off.
Gotta hurry up because I got mechs attacking me from my right side. Oh, okay. I knew you were close, but I wasn't sure if you were crawling or if you were...
Get over here!
I got the light mech.
You're done! Right!
Reroute that power. Get them backup systems re-engaged. You can do it, Nikki.
This will put them down. Easy enough.
Get over here!
My shields are down.
Yes, I'm letting you charge in. Don't be dumb, Jacob. No offense, my guy, but you're not Krogan.
Thank you.
Right behind you. Easy enough.
I've got him! Got a line! Charge him
My
up!
target.
Critical system malfunctions happening.
Have a nice trip! Got a line!
Firing now. Understood.
I've got him!
Here we go.
Routing.
Yeah, what? They're just filing out like roaches.
He had his fun, but now he wants out. Son of a bitch.
This looks interesting.
Yes, indeed.
Be right there.
On it.
Easy enough. Make activity.
Nah. Really, Miranda?
Got it.
You lying. That ain't mech activity. That's just slow white metal people. That's what that is.
Drop him. Drop them.
Subdue and suppress.
There we go.
Proximity warning.
Understood.
Right with you.
Yoink.
It took years to train my guards. I'm afraid you'll have to fight them to rescue me.
Okay. That also means we'll have to cut through all the witnesses. I'm sure that just kills you, doesn't it? Okay, I can respect that, but how about you not just sit there and soak up all that Jesus Christ. He just ate every round.
Friendly fire.
Engineer, shut up. They would have drawn you out of cover. I don't want to hear it. You're the one wide open right now.
Affirmative.
Huzzah! He's dead. Miranda, you better move, girl.
Right behind you.
Enemy drone.
He's dead.
Attacking heavy mech.
They've seen it.
They shouldn't have.
With you. I'm on it.
Oh. I'll see your burn and raise you defiance of
Enough with
gravity.
toys.
Excuse
I
me.
need to look my father in the eye and hear him justify this.
Well, you see what had happened, boy. Interesting place.
You're here. I knew a real squad would blow through just fine. Sorry if the mech scuffed your pads. I'll get you something nice when we get back to Alliance space. I've gotta have some back pay coming.
What about your crew, acting captain?
Total loss. The toxic food turned them wild. They propped me up here in some kind of ritual behavior. Waiting for a chance to signal has been hell.
That's the best you can do?
You let all your people talk back like that? Who are you exactly?
Interesting you should ask that question.
Commander Shepard of the Normandy. I believe you're acquainted with Mr. Taylor.
Taylor? Jacob? No. Not Jacob.
Why not me? Would 10 years of this look better to anyone else in the galaxy?
You have to understand, this isn't me. The realities of command, they change you. I wasn't ready for that. I made sure you were taught right. Before I left, I hoped to leave it at that.
I can respect that. Not everybody is meant for the chair. It's like I said earlier.
I'm not unreasonable, Captain, but 10 years? What happened?
God damn it! Why did you do this to your crew?
There was resistance to the plan. Mutiny. We had to take a hard line to keep order. And things settled down. As the decay set in, we made sure the crew were comfortable. Some even seemed happier. Ignorance is bliss, right? And they were grateful for guidance, like an instinct. Pure authority was easy, at first. Months in, the effect lowered inhibitions. They got territorial. Rank, protocol, they couldn't understand. We had to establish dominance. After a while, the perks seemed normal.
That's it? You created a harem and played king? 10 years in a juvenile fantasy?
I can't point to where it all went wrong. But when the beacon was ready, revealing what happened didn't seem like a good idea.
I can understand the harem part being desirable, but everything else, bro, like Jesus. The initial plan, again, nobody was right, nobody was wrong in terms of that choice. It's an uncomfortable fact that not everybody could eat all of the food, so there would need to be people to repair the systems. But it's also uncomfortable that the other side chose to mutiny and therefore combat was necessary. But at the same time, you can't exactly put your weapon down and let this whole thing just happen, because it's going to just happen if you do. You kind of had me on your side there, but after that, things becoming a harem against people's own choices, like, bruh, you completely lose me in all sympathy when it comes to this.
What happened to the other officers?
Anders found his conscience a little late to step back. He had an accident. Things got tense. End of the day, I was the one with the mechs. I got a little basic in setting examples. But I was kind to my people once things settled down. Seemed like I'd earned some peace.
You fought over people like they were toys. Things.
We're not gonna have that conversation, my friend. Trust me, believe me. You'd be surprised the amount of organizations, companies, and militaries who do the same. We're not gonna have that conversation. As right as you are, we're not gonna have that conversation. His issue was all the other nonsense. He felt like he had earned some peace. Boy. And then you had the other officer who you say it was a little late for his conscience to kick in. Translation, he was pretty much just as dirty as you or most of the others, but by the time he figured it all out, that he had gone too far, well, it was just you and him, and it wasn't just going to be you and him. It was going to be you and you alone. On the one hand, that's your survival instinct. On the other hand, nah.
The stores from the ship couldn't last forever. You had to know this would end one day.
Dining for one can really stretch things out. Besides, I can think of a lot worse retirement plans than stripping down and joining the Droolers. That was before the Hunters, of course. Dumb or not, I'd feel it if they got their hands on me now. They want blood. I'd prefer to keep it.
It's all about you. Everything.
Well, to be fair, yeah, it kind of would be at this point, regardless of what your intentions are.
You didn't feel any responsibility to get out of here for the sake of family?
I gave him a good start. He was a smart kid and was better off not following me. We figured that out a long time before I took jobs in deep space. And after things escalated here, it seemed best to just disappear off the galactic map.
Till you needed someone to save your ass.
Yeah, that was interesting. Figured you'd disappear off the galactic map, but eventually you knew you were gonna run out of food. So you tried to play a "we'll cross that bridge when we come to it" game. And you knew in the end, once it was time to cross that bridge, you were gonna want to cross it at high speed and have yourself a nice steak on the other side, didn't you? I can respect you not wanting your son to follow in your footsteps. You may have been a good father at the time, you may not have been. You may not have been around enough as much as Jacob would have liked. As much as anybody would like for their parent to be around to give them what's necessary. You may have had no real choice in that regard and had to have busted ass in order to make sure that he actually had a place to sleep at night. I can respect that it's cold sometimes, but you can't always be everywhere at once. Then you say you kind of figured it was a good thing. I guess you and your wife, his mother, figured it was a good thing that he didn't want to follow in your footsteps long before you even disappeared. I can respect it, at least.
What triggered the males to change and threaten you?
This planet has some strange cycles to it. I've seen some plants around I never saw before. Odd weather. Maybe some just adapted a little too well.
And if you treat them like animals, big shock. They become animals.
Yeah, but it doesn't really answer what he's saying. It's almost like the way he describes it is almost like the planet had more influence on them than he thought it, or anybody thought it would. Almost like that they come off almost like they're from this planet with how feral they seem to have gotten. You're not wrong. You treat them like animals, you shouldn't be surprised when they act like it, but it kind of makes you wonder if it's just a simple matter of nurture or nature or both.
We can help these people. Cerberus can have ships here in days and pull everyone out.
He's not worth the fuel to haul him out or the air he's breathing. He's damn lucky I don't think he's even worth pulling the trigger. I don't know who you are, because you're not any father I remember.
Now, look at that. Despite the fact of him knowing that he didn't really want to follow in his father's footsteps, despite the fact of his father knowing it was best that he didn't follow in his footsteps, both men agree. The man he was would have shot the man he is right now. I can respect that quite a bit.
We'll secure him for an Alliance court. For every year here, he'll have 10 to think about it.
Give him all the time in the galaxy. The man who did this doesn't know right from wrong.
I'm sorry, Jacob. I did the best I could.
I'm 10 years past believing that.
We better get out of here before they start together. Our guns ain't gonna matter that long. They have guns too. Level 17. Boy, I remember the days of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic where level 20 was your maximum. We've come so far. Now we just need that KOTOR remake to come out and them to finally put Star Wars The Old Republic on consoles, since they have with so many other MMOs. Survivors from Aya are being treated by Alliance personnel with additional Cerberus support. Pleased to see Taylor unharmed psychologically by experience. Jacob Taylor has dealt with his father and is now focused solely on the mission. Aya. Beautiful name. I could see that for a daughter or a wife. Barrier. And now you know where we got Barrier from and how we got it. Once you finish the loyalty mission of each individual, they'll unlock their own ability. And from there, you can actually get the ability in the research lab. But the reason why I have it is because I've done the loyalty mission and then beat the game, so I could choose the ability at the beginning. New outfit for Jacob. Pistol damage upgrade. Oh wow, this is the first pistol damage upgrade. 24.9 thousand creds.
Alliance ships are inbound to secure Captain Taylor and his crew, Commander. We'll be long gone by the time they get here.
Don't even give them the taillights.
Roger that.
What do you mean it wasn't you?
Jacob, if I had leaked the information about the Gernsback, I would be smiling at your resolution of the situation. I am not smiling.
Interesting.
Nothing goes through this ship, my ship, without a report to you.
I had no more reason to believe Jacob's father was alive than he did. But I'm happy to know the situation is behind you.
Fine. You didn't forward it. So who did?
I did.
Well. That right there was that long drag from that cigarette was like, did this hoe really just overstep her bounds? Working for me. Gotta remind myself she's my best.
Figures. Who else could get into Cerberus channels?
It was hardly classified, just obscure. There was a time when it mattered to you. Sending this along seemed like keeping an old promise. I keep my promises.
Miranda, we'll discuss your liberal interpretation of security protocol in private. Shepard, Jacob.
Interesting.
You good with this, Jacob?
It's all bull, Shepard. Captain Taylor can rot in prison. Doesn't change who I am or what I know. I've already mourned the man he used to be. I guess he was a good enough father that even he can't screw up what he taught me.
You had no idea Miranda was behind this?
No, she's got a good memory. Selective, but good. I haven't thought about those days in a long time. Can't figure which promise she meant, though. Not sure I really want to know.
That's how selective memory tends.
Requires a better man than I.
That's how selective memory tends to be. You say that, but she may know you, and you may know her well enough that y'all might actually be the better thing for each other. But hey, if you don't want to burn potential relationships or respect, I can respect that. It's certain lines you don't cross, man or woman. And if you can keep it cool and y'all relationship is trustable, almost like family, but not, hey, if it works out, it works out. Don't push them boundaries if you ain't willing to deal with what comes out the other side of it.
Come on, we've got work to do.
Aye, Commander. Shepard, thanks for the help.
No problem, man.
Anytime, Jacob.
Anything else you want to say before we continue on?
Thanks for diverting to the Gernsback, Shepard. I appreciate being able to clean up that mess. And don't worry, it will not affect how I do my job. It's over.
I'm interested in getting to know you better.
Already? I'm not big on forcing these talks, Shepard. Let's do this later.
Yeah, we did
We'll
just
talk
have
later.
a
Commander.
large situation dump for you, didn't we? Gonna have to divert from Miranda's mission.
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
Mm-hmm. What the hell? From Tombs. Yep. What the hell kind of game are you playing, Shepard? You did the buddy act when I had that gun on that Cerberus scientist telling me you understood. Now I find out you're working for Cerberus. Tests were done on me that you can't even imagine. For years. Cerberus did them. They tortured me. They used me as a damn lab rat. And now you're teaming up with them like they're any other merc band. I've got my own merc team now, Shepard. And I'll kill any Cerberus team I can find. If I run into you, don't expect any different. For you folks who might be trying to remember, Toombs is the Marine who was with us on Akuz, our backstory for our character. One of the Marines who didn't die. He thought he did. He saw a Thresher Maw grab him and take him underground. Come to find out, he ended up in the Cerberus lab where they experimented on him. And you find him later in the first game in the process of dealing with a bunch of Cerberus scientists. So needless to say, he ain't happy. But before we continue on, let's go over some of our new dossiers. The Justicar Samara. Biotic strength near that of an Asari matriarch. Extensive weapons training. Samara is a Justicar, a rare member of an Asari monastic group trained in enhanced combat biotics alongside standard weapons. Samara was recently sighted on the Ilium outside normal Asari space. Tali Zora Vasnima, expert in combat tech, systems hacking, strong engineering background, familiar with Normandy. I mean, different Normandy, but still familiar. It might work out. Formerly listed as Tali Zora Naraya, the Quarian engineer earned her adult name after helping Sheriff Shepard defeat Saren 2 years ago. Tali is currently on a classified assignment for the Migrant Fleet Admiralty Board on Haestrom, deep in Geth-controlled space. There's also an image of his new outfit. We'll switch him over to that. The assassin, Thane Krios, quick kill biotic specialist, expert sniper. Thane Krios is a drill trained from childhood as an elite assassin, proficient in both long-range sniping kills and close infiltration. He has slowed his activities in recent years, but is rumored to have a target on Ilium.
How may I help you, Commander?
Is there anything I should know?
Jack would like to see you down in her hidey hole on the engineering deck. Anything else, Commander?
That'll be all.
Take care.
Didn't expect to hear from her for a bit. Alright. Nothing to say. Okay.
I got thoughts like little bugs crawling in and out of my head. I can't stop them.
Alright.
You know I have a history with Cerberus. You know how far back it goes?
I'll listen to anything you have to say, Jack.
Your pal, the elusive man? Never seen him before, but Cerberus raised me. First thing I remember is my cell door in a Cerberus base. They did experiments, drugged me, tortured me. Whatever chance I had to be normal, they stole it by trying to turn me into some super biotic. The doctors, the other kids, every one of them hated me. They let me suffer.
Interesting.
What did they hope to gain by torturing a little girl?
It was something about pain breaking down mental barriers and how it might clear the way for a more biotic power. I'm sure there was a payoff due at some point, but I wasn't gonna see it. I was wired up in a cell.
Yeah, nah, you weren't going to see that. Sorry about that. Pain breaking down mental barriers has always been a well-known factor. Sometimes pain can be used to push us beyond our limits. So it doesn't surprise me they would think that that's the case, but still it's torture because it's something you didn't agree to, not to mention you were well below the age of consent to agree to what you wanted for breakfast, let alone experimentation.
They tortured you just to see if they could make a strong biotic?
Makes sense.
That's it?
Horrible,
Wasn't in a
but
position
makes
to
sense.
ask, Shepard. All I know is a little girl crying in a cell, begging for the pain to stop.
Uh-huh. She does it. She does enjoy what she became, but she didn't really have a choice in one way, one direction or the other. You kind of, when something happens to you long enough, especially if it's bad, you kind of enjoy it as a defense mechanism to protect yourself. Whether that should be how our biology works, our psychology works, ain't the conversation, but that is how it works sometimes.
You love the power they gave you.
They never gave me a choice.
Clear cut.
How did you get out of there?
There was some kind of emergency, and I made a break for it. The other kids came out of their cells and attacked me. So did the guards. I just killed everything in my way and ran. Guess my biotics had developed faster than they thought. I managed to get a shuttle off the ground. Drifted until a freighter picked me up. The crew used me, then sold me. That's my uplifting escape story.
Interesting. Your power might not have progressed beyond what they expected, but it may have been beyond what they were still able to handle, regardless of expectations. And you escaped and were used by a crew. What do you mean? What? Power, sex, both, psychology, jacket holder, inventory, like what? What do you mean?
There were other children in the base?
I didn't know much about them. I was kept separate. They hated me just like everyone else there. When I broke out, I had to fight through them all. I showed them, but there's a loose end I need to deal with.
Interesting.
You're absolutely certain that Cerberus was running the facility?
I was a kid, but I wasn't dumb. I know how to listen. It was Cerberus. Don't care how far down the chain it was. They thought they were so clever. Turns out, mess with someone's head enough and you can turn a scared kid into an all-powerful bitch. Fucking idiots.
Well, I mean, that was effectively the goal, but sure. Cerberus is different now? That's not logic I'd use. You don't know if Cerberus is different now. You weren't there at that time to say Cerberus is different now. You have one job that Cerberus has you doing, and they're not shooting you in the back while you do it. That's it.
I'm gonna talk to the elusive man, and he'd better have some answers.
He'll just deny everything. That's not what I'm after anyway. I found the coordinates in your files. I want to go to the Telton facility on Pragia where they tortured and drugged me. I want to go to the center of the place, my cell. I want to deploy a big fucking bomb, and I want to watch from orbit when it goes.
Attacking our allies is gonna derail our mission. Not a smart move.
The files say it was shut down after my escape. It's been abandoned for years. They going to care if I blow up a garbage dump?
You've lived with this your whole life. Why do this now?
Like I said, I found the coordinates in your files. You can't expect me to just sit on information like that.
Alright, we'll do it.
I'll set a course for Pragia.
I owe you, Shepard.
Yeah, you really do. I mean, don't misunderstand me. This is to get your head on straight, but what you're effectively telling me is we need to go destroy a building nobody's been in 20 years or so, give or take.
What can we do for you, Commander?
Carry on.
Will
Nothing.
do, Commander.
Nathan, nada. Figured you might be able to, but guess not. Gruntius.
Shepard.
Just checking in, making sure you're acclimatizing.
Humans talk too much, like the tank. Come back later.
That's all for now.
Shepard.
So no, there haven't been any crew changes. It's actually surprising. So what we'll do, actually I'll save it for next episode since this is pretty much at the mark. Knock out Jack's mission next episode, and then progress onward from there. Let me see now. Trying to see who I'd take with me. Well, I guess I'll just take anyone when it comes to Jack. Probably take Grunt. Maybe Garrus. And of course, as you see, Dr. Kenson, her mission is way down here in the Viper Nebula. We won't be doing that mission until very far into the game. Yeah. Was debating whether or not to stop at the shop, but I'll be alright. A few things I can upgrade around anyway, so. $91.5. Just wondering where my money was sitting at. 91,500 plus. Well, folks, it's gonna be the end of episode 14 of Mass Effect 2 Legendary Edition on the Xbox Series X. If you folks like what you see and want to see more of me, give me a like, follow, subscribe here on YouTube or both. Drop a comment, check out some of the other playlists, share around some of the other playlists, bang the bell. Follow the links to my Twitch to get to my YouTube. Follow the links to my YouTube to get to my Twitch. And wherever you folks happen to be, have yourselves a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night. And God bless you. Catch you in the next one.